Okay, welcome to the Chelsea City Council meeting for April 21st. I will call this meeting to order. Sorry we're a little late today. First up is our invocation by Mr. Denny Hodges.
Let's pray. Father, we love you tonight. We thank you for this day, and we thank you for the blessings. Lord, we ask that you would be with us tonight and this council and the people here tonight. We ask for wisdom and innovation, and we on everything that's discussed, and your will be done. And we love you so much. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thanks, sir. Next up is our Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Fisher.
Could everyone please stand for the pledge? Attention, salute, pledge.
That sounded good with a room full of people. Ms. Etheridge will have a roll call, please.
Jonna Barnes.
Present.
Scott Wigan.
Present.
Chris Grace.
Present.
Arthur Fisher Jr.
Present.
Casey Morris.
Present.
All right, we do have a quorum. First up is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion for that?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve our agenda as amended, which includes the removal of ordinance 1041.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. All right, that is approved. Next up is the approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion for that?
Council President, I make a motion that we approve our minutes as written.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, the minutes are approved. All right, council business. First up, we are going to have the first reading of ordinance 1045. Our city attorney will read that for us. And Mr. Boardman, go ahead.
Whereas the Chelsea City Planning Commission has recommended the approval of a rezoning request submitted by Brooks Harris of Clayton Property Group for AR residential to residential R2 residential district, and it gives the parcel numbers. The property is located at 9680 Highway 11 and 1045 Highway 11, Chelsea, and contains plus or minus 114 acres. Whereas the property is currently zoned AR, agricultural residential, has been requested to be zoned R2 residential district, and after review of the city engineer, R2 zoning has been determined to be the appropriate zoning for the purpose for which rezoning has been requested, and the appropriate zoning for this area. Therefore, be it resolved that the Chelsea City Council approves the rezoning classification.
Thank you for that. We're about to have our public hearing on this ordinance. Normally, I would be out here minutes before reminding everybody to sign in. So take this moment. If you want to sign in and speak during the public hearing, now's your chance before he brings that piece of paper up here. Is there anybody that didn't sign in that wants to sign in for this public hearing? Perfect.
Mr. President, you have a number of people who have signed in.
All right, thank you. All right, at this time, we will begin the public hearing for ordinance 1045, which is the rezone request for property located on Highway 11. That's 114.5 acres going from AR to R2. We do have multiple people that have signed in. First up will be the developer to go over the plan. There you go.
I'm Jerry Howard with Harris Dole Homes. We're bringing this project back before you. Instead of a PUD zoning, we've chosen to reduce density and go to an R2 zoning. So we're 158 lots, 115 lots, or total acres, 43 of which is green space. density of 1.4 units per acre, and pricing starting in the upper 400s. This is what we brought before you last year as the PUD zoning. What we heard was traffic concerns, density concerns, school impact concerns, and overcrowding concerns. So by going to R2, we've increased the lot size to 15,000 square foot minimum. These are primarily 100 by 150 foot lots. Larger homes, less density. We've got a revised entrance plan and scalable house plans. The economic impact for the city with 158 new homes is significant, from property taxes to sales taxes, permits from construction, and then the overall value of, average sales price of $550,000 is what we're estimating. So traffic, I know, was the major concern. The last time we were here with, we were at 240 lots total. We've reduced that by 82 lots down to the 158. So larger lots, fewer homes, less cars, more space. With the turn lanes that we're adding, the county's going to require full turn lanes as they have up and down Highway 11. Should not affect the flow of traffic. There shouldn't be any backup on those turn lanes or decel lanes. The main entrance will have full access onto 11, and then we'll have an emergency access onto the East Parks Highland Parkway. Harris Doyle, we've been around a number of years, over 3,000 homes constructed. We've got a very unique architecture, quality homes. We got 4.7 stars on our Google review, and we're proud of that. Community investment is one thing we tout, is $400 from the profits of every home closed is used to revive local charities, other do-good initiatives. We're promoted as employees to take volunteer time off and go to these charities that we're working with and actually physically do work. So with the 100-foot wide lots, these are some of the bigger lots that we build on. It gives us our larger house plans, as you can see here. Anywhere ranging from 3,000 square feet or just under 3,000 square feet, and I think the next page has some even larger. The Rosemont is over 4,000 square feet. This also, instead of having a front load driveway, we've got either drive-by driveways or carriage load, as you see on the Rosemont here. The Logan on the right, or the bottom, is a drive-by and loads towards the rear of the home. Several communities that we're building this similar product, Foothills in Black Ridge, the Bray at Vestavia Hills and the Liberty Park, and Woodward Oaks is a large neighborhood in Auburn where along the parkway we have the larger homes. I think this new plan is going to be very fitting for the Highway 11 corridor, very fitting for the city of Chelsea, offer a new product. We're also building in Chelsea Park right now, just finished our model home. Encourage everybody to go look at that. These are going to be a step above those, and those over there are nice homes. But I believe if y'all have any questions, I'd love to answer.
All right, thank you. And so what will happen next is part of the public hearing is we'll go through this list of everyone that wants to speak. And if you'll write down the questions, if they have questions or concerns, and you'll get a chance to address it at the end.
Thank you.
I do have one question. The 15,000, that's the minimum for on-site sewage disposal. These are going to be sewered homes. They're not septic
These will
tanks.
be on the Southwest Water Sewer System that's available.
Okay, thank you.
All right, as a reminder, When you come up to address, you were addressing the council, you're not addressing the developer. Like, we need to, we did it last time and we can do it again. We need to maintain civility and all be professionals. First up is Ms. Valerie Atchison. If you'll please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Hi, Valerie Atchison, 9103 Highway 11. Tonight's decision is not just about a plan on paper. It's about the daily life actually looks like for the families who live here in Chelsea. Highway 11 is already beyond capacity. We all experience the difficulty of turning, merging, and simply moving, especially during peak hours. And that's before factoring in the 1,100 already approved lots here in Chelsea that have not been yet built. It's not about hypothetical growth, it's about guaranteed growth, bringing in thousands of additional daily trips onto this same two-lane road. At the same time, new commercial development in Chelsea and significant residential growth in Pelham with over 900 homes currently under construction along 11 will drive in even more traffic onto this corridor. Highway 11 is already the go-to alternative to 280. When more drivers will use it, congestion will increase. So the question tonight is not whether growth is coming, it is whether the safety, infrastructure, and timing are being prioritized before adding more. This community deserves clear answers. Can 11 safely handle the additional traffic? Can our schools absorb more students without overcrowding? Can the emergency services maintain response times along an increasing congested corridor? And are there more at stake than traffic? This project impacts more than 100 acres of undeveloped land that currently absorbs rainfall, supports drainage, and provides habitat for wildlife. When this land is cleared and runoff increases and drainage systems are strained and the wildlife is displaced often into roadways, creating new safety risk. This impacts don't stay within the property lines and they cannot be undone. Chelsea is not against growth. We expect it, but growth without responsible timing creates real risk to safety, infrastructure, and the environment. We're asking you to pause allow infrastructure to catch up to ensure that the road improvements are funded and scheduled. Confirm the school capacity, fully evaluate the environmental impact before clearing this land that currently protects this environment. And ask one more final question to ponder. If this zoning is approved tonight, based upon the current proposal, what guarantee is there that the final development will match what is actually being presented? Or even that this developer will be the one who actually builds there? Before we wipe out the beautiful trees that are there, please pause additional approvals along 11 until the full impacts of existing growth are understood and responsibly addressed. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. And I did forget to mention, Mr. Boardman will be keeping time, and you each keep 5 minutes. And also, we're not voting on it tonight. Like, this was the first reading, the vote would be on the next, the first meeting in May. Next up is Mr. Gary Jones. Please state your name and address.
Gary Jones, and I live in Chelsea Park, 1040 Kingston Road. When we had this meeting before, I came before you and I said very plainly that I was not for or against this. We had a reporter here reporting that decided to play Helen Keller and Ann Sullivan and let one person talk and her interpret, and said that I was for this. Well, tonight I'm coming before this council telling you I am 100% for this development. No questions. The builder that is coming in to develop this property, you will never find another builder that's going to come in this state, do what they say they're going to do with the integrity and honesty that they have. I know this company personally. I worked for a residential construction company for 19 years, retired 2 years ago, and I would hate to think that somewhere down the road, that company got approved and came in here to build. That's how adamant I am that Harris and Doyle are the best company. Honestly, I don't live on Highway 11, but I travel up and down Highway 11 from 280 to 31, 5 or 6 times a week. The number of cars is not the problem. It's the people driving them. They've got a thing up on their dash with their phone up there, sending text messages, or they have it rammed in their face. They're not paying attention to what they're doing. That happens in the 5:30 traffic. For 7 years, I drove downtown Birmingham. When I left there off 6th Avenue, I went to Hoover. So I drove from Chelsea to Hoover to Ross Bridge. I had 8 or 9 different ways for me to come home. When I got in my car before I left the parking lot, turned the radio on, checked the traffic. Based on the traffic, I altered my route home. These people that are going to come down Highway 11 are going to do the same thing. All these new houses are not going to put traffic on Highway 11 from 31 to 280. Those people are going to turn into those houses that they buy in Pelham and turn into the houses and live there where Harrison Dole's trying to build. So all of this, that all this traffic is going to be here, to me is a non-issue. The issue is turning off 280 on 47, and it's only going to get worse. I just hate to see this council not approve this, because you're not going to all be city council members forever. Somebody on this council is going to get it through, and it may be a builder that we don't want to build out here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. Lewis Atchison. If you'll state your name and address.
I'm Louis E. Atchison Jr., live at 9103 Highway 11 here in Chelsea. This comes down to safety and stewardship. Highway 11 is already a heavily traveled 2-lane road carrying commuter traffic, school traffic, and emergency vehicles. We all experience the congestion, especially during school hours and commuter hours. We know how difficult and sometimes unsafe it already is to turn, merge, or move through traffic. And when traffic backs up, it's not just inconvenient, it's a safety issue. Emergency response times are effective. Drivers take more risk. Student drivers are navigating increasingly dangerous conditions. There are already 1,100 lots approved in Chelsea that have not yet been built. That means thousands of additional trips are coming, regardless of what is approved tonight. Now, add what's coming next. A park worker told me that the state park plans a new access point off Highway 11 behind my house, adding to a road already seeing around 10,000 vehicles a day. This development alone is expected to add another 2,000 vehicles. That's on top of 900 plus homes being built along Highway 11 in Pelham, plus traffic from a new event center at the former Methodist Church location and the new Target shopping area in Chelsea. This is not one project, it's layered growth and 1,000 more vehicles on a 2-lane country road not designed to handle the level of traffic it already has. So the question is not whether growth is happening, it's why we are allowing it to outpace safety. This project also removes over 100 acres of undeveloped land that currently manages water, supports wildlife, and acts as a natural buffer. Those impacts don't stay contained, and they don't reverse. Once approved, we live with it. We live with the traffic. We live with the safety risks. We lived with the environmental impact. Growth is not the problem. But with growth without timing and infrastructure is. Please pause the additional approval along Highway 11 until the full cumulative impact is clearly addressed. Our families drive these roads every day. Please protect this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. Allen, and I'm not gonna butcher it.
Oh, come on.
Klukeridge. I think I got it right.
Yeah, thank you. If it pleases the council, I'd also like to read in my allotted time a brief communication from one of our neighbors who lives in the Chelsea Highlands. Is everyone okay with that? In addition to my own thoughts. So this is from our neighbor Kevin O'Keefe. I'm a resident of Shelby County off Highway 11 in Chelsea. I'm very opposed to recent propositions to rezone the property by Chelsea High School to make way for multiple tightly packed residential housing developments. Without any plans to widen Highway 11, this will significantly worsen traffic on the small two-lane road. Additionally, one of the things that makes this area so beautiful is the fact so much of the natural terrain and vegetation remains intact. I previously lived on Highway 119, and this is a perfect example of what happens when development continues unchecked without thoughtful planning, often with traffic stretching for miles. I very much hope you vote against this proposal and choose to keep what makes this area of Shelby County so beautiful and desirable. And that's from Kevin O'Keefe, Shelby County, specifically City of Chelsea in Chelsea Highlands. And now this is my note to the council this evening. My name's Alan Klukrich, and my wife Mary and I reside at 2095 Lindsay Lane, found within the Chelsea Highlands development. Thank you for this opportunity again to speak to you all. By now you have all heard the multiple and salient points to be made concerning some of the primary objections to the proposal for the housing development adjacent to Highway 11, Chelsea High School, and the sports complex. These objections include, but are not limited to, the issues surrounding increased traffic, safety issues with the development being in such close proximity to the high school, and the various and critical environmental impacts associated with this proposal. We know that you all have paid close attention to these various concerns articulated over the course of the past several months, and we are grateful for your time and attention that you've paid to these matters. My personal greatest concern involves preservation of this 115-acre plot of land in its current state. There are so very many potential uses for this beautiful forest and green space that I believe would greatly benefit the Chelsea community at large and young people in particular. Almost 200 years ago, there lived a young man who desired to discover what he referred to as the essential facts of life by building a small hut or cabin for himself in the middle of the woods and other natural surroundings near Concord, Massachusetts. The area upon which he built was called Walden Pond, and his name, of course, was Henry David Thoreau. Mr. Thoreau believed in surrounding himself with an abundance of nature, as well as his neighbors in the nearby village. But he was more greatly inspired in his thinking, his writing, and living by nature itself. In a day and era wherein young people are encouraged to leave electronic devices behind and to, quote, go touch grass, it occurs to me that quality green and forest spaces are greatly to be desired. I encourage the council to seriously consider preserving this beautiful nature space of 115 acres for the benefit of the Chelsea community, for both adults, children, and their pets. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I believe you forgot your address. You're on Lindsay Lane, right?
Yes,
Thank you.
2095. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. John Friedman. If you'll state your name and address.
John Friedman, 2087 Lindsay Lane. Good evening, Chelsea Council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and to all the citizens of Chelsea here tonight. I've had the pleasure of working as an educator for about 5 years now. One of the best schools I've worked at is Chelsea High School. It has strong academics, experienced faculty, and a welcoming student body. I do, however, have a few firsthand observations to in fact that I would like to share with you all. Every day I've been there, there is simply not enough room in the cafeteria for even about only a smaller percentage of the student body to have lunch in. Most of them have to eat lunch in the surrounding hallways, stretching throughout most of the school on the floor. It really amazes me that students do not have the ability in the school to eat with their friends in a comfortable seating arrangement and be in the cafeteria in a common place where they can all enjoy without cell phones because of that great new state law. Each others and talk person to person. Instead, they have to be spread out. And I just don't think that's right as an educator to see that. I've also noticed that there are a good number of portables that the students are now being taught in outside the main facilities. Why is this? Because we are already at overcapacity at Chelsea High School. Why do we need to overstrain our school community even more, not to mention the traffic on Highway 11 and surrounding areas with new families coming in? I'm all for growth. I'm not against people coming in. But I believe, and I think many of us here believe, and can say that it is critical to be in line with smart growth, to be able to, in a measured, staggered approach, not rush this process. Because once something's built, you can't easily remove it. And I think education, I think we can all agree, is the most critical thing we can give to our young people in our broad society. Education shapes a person. If we can give our students in coming forth in future generations the best education, I believe Chelsea and Chelsea High School, especially, and all the schools in the Chelsea community will benefit the most if we slow down, think very carefully before we expand any further, because we're already expanding quickly, so quickly. And I believe that it will help our students and future generations of students to benefit the most when they can be comfortable sitting together with their friends in one big cafeteria. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Joan Friedman.
Good evening. I am Joan Friedman. I live at 2087 Lindsay Lane, Chelsea, right off of Highway 11. I'd like to address the strategic plan. I think it's a little less than 2 years old, and I think it addressed smart growth as one of the most important aspects. I've lived through traffic messes, a mess caused by uncontrolled growth. People hate to drive through Atlanta. You always hear them saying, I'll go around, I don't care how far, much further, I don't want to drive in Atlanta. And that's because they had uncontrolled growth, and they didn't do it right. I moved there decades ago, and it wasn't like that when I first got there. That affects quality of life to a great degree. It's common sense that these extra homes on 11, two subdivisions in Chelsea that you're looking at approving, one of them represented tonight, one of them not. And the other two that are just 4 miles down the road, that's Pelham's approval, that's on them. That's going to affect our quality of life just because of traffic, safety, and all these other issues that have been already brought up tonight. I have nothing against growth and progress. We need it. I believe in it. And this developer has every right to make a profit and understand he does a good job. Wonderful. It's not about him. And I believe he'll come back if our infrastructure is improved to the point that it can support him. He'll be back. Chelsea's a great place to build. Everyone's going to want to build here. Believe me, he'll be back. We won't lose him just by doing it at the right timing. So he has a right, but we also have a right as your citizens to expect you all to make good growth decisions. We expect you to use the existing infrastructure the right way. When will Highway 11 ever be widened? Will it ever be widened? And I wonder who speaks for these families who live right on 11. They've been there many years, sometimes decades. We've already heard them say, I've heard them say, it's really hard to get out of their driveways as it is right now. Who speaks for the little guy? It's your legacy here that you're making, whether you allow the growth to be done in a really good strategic way or one that leaves our quality of life to be not what it was. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. Lee Friedman.
Good evening. My name is Lee Friedman. I live at 2087 Lindsay Lane, and I appreciate the time that you have allotted for tonight for the citizens. Do we have the, yeah. I've done a PowerPoint. A lot of y'all know I was an old principal, and I believe in not always going on emotion, but going on actual documented numbers. So we look at, on December the 16th, the proposal was defeated. So another proposal was put on came up on March the 23rd. And then tonight's is April the 21st, if you go to the next slide. This is the first slide. This is the December 16th one. And the main difference is especially on the Grand Slam Road, where you'll see the next slide. This was where they've had the cul-de-sacs. A little bit of difference, but the yellow represents the lots, and I pray it's not just the lots in clear cutting. I talk about precedent because I've been to 3 of Harris Doyle's projects. I've been to Hillsong at Mount Laurel, Sims Landing, the Bray at Liberty Park. Their modus operandi in every one of them is clear cutting. And I pray that that monstrosity of a project on 11 in Pelham, I'm praying that that's not one of their projects. I don't know. I've called Pelham. They will not give me an answer. So I don't want us to look like that. That's my biggest fear, is to have something for those who've gone toward Pelham. I want to give a little bit of information. This is some numbers here. If you look at I call it it's called Grand Slam Road, where you see the ones like that, and you see the green part. There are 60 homes there. And they have done a green space of 0.32 acres. And I did some math. That's 13,939 square feet. That whole area there, those 60 homes, right at that quadrant there, that whole area is 1,200,000 square feet. A football field from goalpost to goalpost, or no, from end zone to end zone, is 48,000 square feet. This would represent, if they clear cut, and that's a question I think that the council needs to ask, if they clear cut, it's the equivalent of 25 football fields. 25 football fields. And the question I would have is this: that area, the green space there, that represents 0.0011% of those 60 lots and roads and cul-de-sacs. That's 0.1%. I've known some of you, we have a smart council. I think it's an insult to think that that constitutes common space. And most of the common space, quite honestly, is either setbacks or wetlands. They do a great presentation. I will give it to them. They build a good house. I'm talking about the question needs to be answered: how much are they going to clear cut? And if they say that they're going to try to preserve trees, I'd like to see which trees in every one of those yellow spots, 158 lots, where are they going to, which trees will be preserved? Because all I've seen in the past is completely clear cut. And you can do it. Joan and I built a house before we came here in Smyrna. Great oak tree. We loved it. Driveway would have been much cheaper to go and tear it down. Did we? No. We did not tear it down because we cared about keeping the preservation of a tree that was growing before I was born, and that we care about the environment. So I'm not knocking the builder. He's a good builder. I am concerned about the clear cutting that unfortunately has followed him in every project that I've seen. I appreciate your time, and I just hope that when you deliver the information and see it, that you'll understand we're not against growth, but we are for smart growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up is Terry Martin.
Terry Martin, I live on 2080 Lindsay Lane. A lot of Lindsay Lanes here today. I know you guys are tired of hearing about the traffic, so I'll focus on one tiny little issue. I've spent some time just walking around over the past couple of weeks when school is letting in, where Sports Highland Parkway comes out and hits Highway 11 right next to Chelsea High School. And there's very little traffic on that road now, of course, because there are only 8 houses up there being serviced by the road. But as I walk down 11, traffic on northbound 11 is backed up for pretty much the length of this complex. It's way backed up. So getting out of this new complex is going to be exactly like getting out on Sports Highland Parkway now. And I'll tell you how it works. You've got the traffic cop there. He lets the southbound traffic go and the people turn left into Chelsea. Then he lets the northbound traffic go and the people turn right into Chelsea. And then he stops both of those lanes and lets the people come out of Chelsea. Each of those segments takes about 30 seconds or so. You can get out onto 11 from Sports Highland Parkway one time during that cycle because the traffic is constant. When it's moving, you can't get out, obviously. When it stops, they're usually good enough to let one car out. And then when that lane gets to go again, you get to turn right. If you want to turn left, i.e. you want to go to Pelham, you want to go to the interstate, it's a disaster because the traffic never stops while it's moving. I mean, there's never a break, there's never a break in the traffic while it's moving. And same thing, they will let one car out, but then the only way to turn left is you stick your car out in and hope there's nobody coming on southbound 11. The speed limit there is 50 miles an hour. So they're going to be stopping at the school, back to this new subdivision. They're going to be stopping at the school. There'll be the northbound traffic. We'll let one guy come out and hope that no one's coming at 50 miles an hour up there. I am terrified that not only will there be wrecks, they won't be fender benders. There'll be serious wrecks, quite possibly a fatality. And you've got 16 to 17-year-old kids. Some of those are driving those cars. So I'm not even saying you can approve it or disapprove the project, but if you do, you're going to have to do something about the exit from this new subdivision with 158 homes and how many cars? 100 in the morning? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Eric Fry.
Eric Fry, I live at 121 Carriage Creek Path. First of all, as we think about a growing community, we've heard some good comments today. You've got a big responsibility in front of you, and I'm thankful for you. What I want to speak about is this developer. I've had the privilege of watching this company grow and impact communities, not just build houses, but have positive impact in communities for nearly 25 years, almost 20, or a little over 20 years. And one of the things that I can tell you is that evidence of that is that they listened. They came before you. There were some concerns that needed to be addressed, and they made provisions for that. I have had the opportunity to experience Highway 11 every day, weekday of my career since moving to Chelsea. So I'm very familiar with all the challenges that come with that. I've also had the privilege of having 2 sons graduate from Chelsea High School and have the fears, if you want to call it, of having a parent let your kid go at 15 and drive to school. I've also had the privilege of showing up at athletic events on a consistent basis over the years and being a coach at the Chelsea Park and being there with CBC in the travel ball journey. With that said, all those are valid things, and all those are things that we have to deal with as parents and that kids have to deal with. But when I think about this development, I think it will bring positive impact to the city. That doesn't mean that we don't have additional planning that needs to be done. It doesn't mean that school improvements don't come in the future. But I moved to Carriage Creek 12 years ago when someone told me, if you'll move, before it gets there, it'll build around you. It'll come around you, and it's happening. So I just want you to know that I've watched Brooks Harris, Russ Dole, and I've had the privilege of watching Kelly Lloyd not just build homes, but serve in the Greater Birmingham Association of Home Builders and serve as presidents in those roles and serve our communities in the places they've built. And I'm proud of them and would be proud to have them representing us in building this project in Chelsea. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that does it for the sign-up sheet. At this time, I'll let Harris Doyle address and answer questions and concerns that were brought up.
So, I hear, traffic for sure is the biggest concern, and I understand, I live in Gray Oaks on Highway 11, and I work at the Colonnade. It's where our office is, and I take 11 down to 52 over to 65 and up, because the traffic on 280, even though I work on 280, that's not conducive for me to drive that way. Unless you worked on this end of 280, our residents at this neighborhood would likely take 65. It's just my opinion, my feelings there. Nathan here, our engineer, he's got the traffic study and knows what the current conditions of Highway 11 are and what they would look like, with growth over the next few years and from, immediate affected by our 158 proposed lots. As far as green space goes, we're leaving 43 acres uncleared. We've added buffers, undisturbed buffers, all the way around the perimeter, per the requests of the city, and many of those lots along 11 would not be clear cut. We'd just cut in the road because the grade is conducive there to that. The rest of the site undulates a lot, and to try to build a 100-foot lot without clearing the majority of the trees is difficult. You got any?
Yeah, so.
Can I ask you
Yes,
this
go ahead.
question?
Please.
Is that okay if I ask him?
Please.
Let him finish.
Well, it was about what he had just said. I didn't want him to forget, because I know you probably got a lot of comments to make, but the undisturbed space on 11 Sports Island and Grand Slam, if I've got one of those houses on my back deck, am I going to be able to see those roads?
So along Highway
Clearly,
11,
I guess is the question.
yeah, on Highway 11, and I actually have some maps I can give you guys.
Yeah,
Does that question make sense?
yeah. So if you're backing up on Sports Highland, you're backing up to
On
Sports
any
Highland.
of the roads, I
Well-
think there's just those three, what's the?
And yeah, being able to see through established wooded areas really depends on how much undergrowth you've got. You've got large trees, you can see through them for the most part. But I think the narrowest spot,
Yeah, so what I just gave you is kind of overlaid on an aerial. And so like Jerry said, we intend on providing on the east side, Sports Highland Parkway, and on the south side, adjacent to Grand Slam Road, the 30-foot undisturbed buffer. And then along Highway 11, there's a big power line easement, I think we've talked about that before, that we're not gonna be able to do anything in anyway, so there's gonna be even more than 30 feet up there. It just kind of varies because of the angles. The dimensions we have there shown are from the edge of pavement, so along Sports Highland and along Grand Slam Road, up to approximately where those clearing limits would be in those areas. So we've done some preliminary grading, and so we both can give the 30-foot undisturbed buffer, but especially, along Sports Highland because of the way it curves through there. And there's already a lot of trees that are not even on the property that we're talking about tonight. There's gonna be even more than 30 feet there, and you guys have driven through there. There's huge, huge trees. So, like Jerry was saying, I think it definitely depends on the thickness of that growth that's out there, but we can't remove trees that are in city right-of-way, without city approval. And we can't, if we're given that 30-foot undisturbed buffer, we won't remove those trees either.
Thank you, the map and your answer helped a lot.
Yep. And like Jerry said, we've done some preliminary grading on this, and the row of lots along Highway 11 that kind of run parallel there at the front, we should be able to keep the majority of those without having to be clear-cut and mass graded. Like Jerry said, that's very dependent on the existing grades out there, and so that's kind of the flattest area of the property. And so the 100-foot lots, so one of the benefits of transitioning from the previous proposal to the new proposal, both from a density standpoint, is also there was no way we're gonna be able to do that with the narrower lots, just because the houses are gonna be closer together. With the wider lots, we have a lot more flexibility to actually be able to provide those lots along the frontage without clear cutting. As far as, like Jerry said, we've got over 40 acres of, beyond just outside of the lot areas, 40 acres of, where we're not going to clear cut. That sheet I just gave you guys, this was also in the presentation, gives just like a very kind of high level, but the intention is to provide a lot of natural walking paths and trails. So obviously there's that really awesome trail along Sports Highland already that kind of snakes through the trees and stuff. The intention would be to connect to that and connect that over into the development. So not only would we have sidewalks on the streets, but would be providing trails, and that's something that Harris Doyle has done on other developments like this, and really see it as an amenity to those residents. So.
Can I ask you about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I noticed that the other exhibits that I've seen don't show the walking trail, but clearly.
That's because a civil engineer made him and not someone who's more creative, so.
I got it. These trails clearly connect to our trail system. And I guess what I'm hearing you say is you're opening up 43 acres of this property to the public?
I don't see that as being an issue as long as there's not abuse of the HOA's property.
Okay, but the HOA would maintain the trail?
Within the neighborhood.
Okay.
Correct.
So tag along on that question, Chelsea Acres, a development in the community, left a lot for the purpose of that connectivity. Is that something,
So I think, again, this is conceptual with the trails, but the way it's shown on here is the trails are actually kind of following those creeks, those natural creeks through there. And so I think that we would show connections kind of at those spots where we're already not gonna have lots because we're not gonna put a house on top of a creek.
And those trails wouldn't be paved, they'd be some kind of.
Correct, that'd be natural.
Ideally, I personally, we've had one neighborhood where the city's making us concrete it all. I think that's a horrible idea, but ideally, it'd be natural. You can run through there with a mulcher, mulch up any vegetation and keep it sprayed. We built little footbridges up in Trustville. We did several wooden footbridges that, won't accommodate a golf cart, but will accommodate a bicycle
Sure.
and foot traffic.
Are we also, we require sidewalks?
He's got the sidewalks in both, you can barely see them.
Yeah, it's hard just with
Okay.
this size of sheet, but we've got sidewalks on the streets too, yeah.
The two places I see kind of naturally where there would be some connectivity from Sports Highland, just a little bit past y'all's emergency entrance, there appears to be a buffer of space where the trail comes from Sports Highland across one of y'all's roads into the undisturbed wetland. That undisturbed wetland, by this depiction, looks to have a lot of landscaping done to it and a lot of trees.
Yeah,
that have been-
yeah, so those trees are not meant to indicate that they'll be planting new trees,
Yeah,
per se.
it's-
A lot of that would be, of course, would remain existing, yeah. So that was not intended to show that we were planting new trees on top of a stream, so.
But in that area though, crossing, I don't know what the back road would be of y'all's neighborhood, but closer where the secondary access is, crossing between there to access it, I think that would be a great place for the.
Yeah, I think this, again, going back to this conceptual, but, I think we've got, it looks like four or five connections to that existing trail, kind of wherever those gaps are with the streams. We've got one up there at the very northeast corner of Sports Island and Highway 11, and, and I do think that, if I was a high schooler who lived in this development, like, I think it'd be super cool to hop on a bike or, walk across the street.
They're gonna find a way to walk there, whether y'all provide it for them or not.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
We've experienced that
And,
with,
again, we heard all these same concerns about traffic and safety and obviously understand them and hear them. And I do think that, being next to the high school does provide some benefits like that from a pedestrian and bike connectivity, standpoint. Talking about traffic, so, obviously, again, we heard these concerns last time, we've heard them through the planning commission. Just a few things we want to note, is obviously we did a traffic study before, we revised it with the lower density, so, both times we've sent it over to Shelby County, we had a meeting with them, prior to the last, prior to the last layout we submitted last fall. We're providing the left and right turn lanes in to the development. And so really where you see traffic on a two-lane highway, start to back up is obviously with the school situation, but it's also when you do not have those turn lanes to sit in to wait to turn. And so those obviously are providing the opportunity for traffic that is moving through that's not trying to turn in the development can keep moving on and keep going on their way. And the traffic study primarily focused on kind of these intersections that are either our new intersection or kind of the Sports Highland Parkway intersection. And obviously through this process we are not showing any access from the development or to the development on Sports Highland. That's just emergency only. So the traffic will be coming in and out just on Highway 11. And so the traffic study really kind of showed that for those intersections, a lot of the negative impacts of waiting, of sitting there trying to wait the gap, some of the things we've talked about, is going to be felt by people leaving the development. But what we found is that, again, traffic engineering calculations that we did based on the traffic and the traffic generated by this development, there only will be like 4 or 5 cars that will be stacked up at a time in the development, trying to leave the development at the peak time, right? And so all of that will be experienced by residents in the development, which the developer is aware of and understands and is comfortable with. We did look at, capacity on Highway 11 based on existing traffic. And, based upon all the guidance from ASHTO and using the highway capacity manual and all of those things, you know, we found that the level of service that the highway is currently operating on, it'll maintain the same level of service afterwards. And it is still very far away from, again, from the recommendations from the highway capacity manual, from being, you know, a level of service F or even a D, where it would require, you know, widening. And so, again, traffic study was submitted at Shelby County. They didn't mention that this would cause it to tip over, or even that the current conditions warrant any widening. And so obviously, you know, everybody thinks about those peak hours, the school traffic, all of those things. And, you know, no matter what you do, those are always going to be, that's when people are going to feel it, right? And we had someone go out there and observe as well during school traffic, the backup and the, you know, the flow with the safety officer, and, you know, observe how far it backed up. And, you know, on the day we were out there, it did not back up even close to where the entrance is proposed here. And our entrance is, as you can tell, quite far from Sports Highland Parkway. So we don't have any concerns from that standpoint, from our observations. And so I think that's my traffic, you know, kind of synopsis from what we've heard and what we've heard from the last one, and kind of what we've done on our end to do some research on the back end. So.
Just to piggyback on the walking trails, when we reduced the number of homes by 82 homes, we didn't feel like a neighborhood of 158 homes would be able to properly maintain a swimming pool for the neighborhood. So that's where we went to connectivity to the city's walking trails, making it, you know, your tennis courts, your ball fields are our amenity. The walking trails included. I think what y'all done there is wonderful, and I think this community would really, you know, utilize and provide additional walking throughout it.
All right, council, you guys got any more questions? Got anything else, sorry? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What? Close the public hearing. Okay. At this time, we'll close the public hearing. I appreciate everybody's civility. I appreciate everybody speaking, and, you know, this is what it's all about, so we can all get our opinions out there and the information, and I appreciate everybody being so nice. All right, council, we will move on from the public hearing onto Resolution 1392. Do we have a motion for that?
Council President, I make a motion to approve Resolution 1392 to appoint Carlos Sanders to the Planning Commission.
All right, we have a motion for 1392. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, Mr. Sanders is appointed to the Planning Commission. Next up is Resolution 1393. Do we have a motion for that?
Council President, I make a motion we approve 1393 to authorize the mayor to execute a A&B service agreement.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? Mr. Mayor, will you tell us about this one?
Yes, this is a medical transport billing service. It's just an upgrade from the provider we currently use. It provides cloud-based access, and it's easier for the fire department to upload and track information related to their transports.
Very good, thank you. Council, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. That is approved. Resolution 1394. Do we have a motion for this one?
Mr. President, make a motion, we approve Resolution 1394 to authorize the mayor to accept a proposal for architectural and interior design services by Turner Batson.
Awesome, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on this? Mayor?
Yeah, this will be for a build-out of the vacant area upstairs here at City Hall. and a remodel of the council chambers. We will be adding 7 new offices upstairs and additional storage space, and then in the council chambers, it will create a desk area for the mayor and city attorney over there with our new form of government. The layout we have now is just not functional.
Are you saying you don't like your round table?
No, I love the round table, but
Like the mayor said, this will allow him to, and the attorney, or excuse me, the architect, to put it out to bid to build out the upstairs of this building. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right. Next up is ordinance, 1043, which is to update the rules and procedures of the Chelsea City Council. Do we have a motion for this?
Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve ordinance 1043.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? All in favor, oh, no, this is an ordinance. Roll call vote, please.
Yes. Donna Barnes.
Aye.
Scott Wigan.
Aye.
Chris Grace.
Aye.
Arthur Fisher Jr.
Aye.
Casey Morris.
Aye.
That is approved. And we'll go on to the next ordinance, 1044. Do we have a motion for this?
Council President, I make a motion to approve ordinance 1044 to establish an entertainment district at Valley Post.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this one? Mayor, would you like to give any details on that?
yes, this is just a follow-up on the first reading that we did the last meeting, creating an entertainment district at Valley Post that allows people to walk between businesses with beverages, and just creates a nice atmosphere for the city and that beautiful courtyard they've got.
That's right. All right, council, any further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote.
Donna Barnes.
Aye.
Scott Wigan.
Aye.
Chris Grace.
Aye.
Arthur Fisher Jr.
Aye.
Casey Morris.
Aye.
All right, that is approved. And next up, we have a motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration. Do we have a motion for that?
Mr. President, I make a motion, we suspend our rules for the immediate consideration of this last ordinance.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on suspending the rules? Is that a roll call vote?
Donna Barnes.
Aye.
Chris Grace.
Aye.
Scott Wigan.
Aye.
Arthur Fisher Jr.
Aye.
Casey Morris.
Aye.
All right, our rules are temporarily suspended for the next ordinance, which is ordinance 1046. Do we have a motion for this?
Council President, I make a motion, we approve ordinance 1046 to establish a building services department.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? What this is making official the building codes and such for the city, for our new building department, so he can operate as designed. We'll have a roll call vote.
Donna Barnes.
Aye.
Scott Wigan.
Aye.
Chris Grace.
Aye.
Arthur Fisher Jr.
Aye.
Casey Morris.
Aye.
All right, next up, we've got the city bills. Do we have a motion for that?
Mr. President, make a motion, we pay our bills.
We have a motion to pay the bills. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on the bills? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right, we will pay the bills. Next up is the mayor's report.
Council President, I'm gonna ask if I can be excused. I love you, Cody, but my son's game starts in about 15 minutes. I'm gonna head that direction.
Well, we are all about family, so good luck.
All right, we'll make this quick. It's been a long meeting already. So on Chester Crane, that road has been closed for about the last week while they move utilities as part of the Chelsea Plaza development. And it's closed about midway down. The last we heard from the contractor is it should be approximately 30 days of a road closure. We'll keep everybody updated. There are signs at Highway 280 and Chelsea Road letting everybody know that that road is closed. And our city engineer has been working with the developer at Chelsea Plaza and the new development that's going in, the shops at Chelsea Corners, on making sure that they are wetting the ground down. With it being as dry as it is, we've got a whole lot of dust kicking up, so we are trying to help out with that. Our maintenance crew has, on top of doing their regular maintenance inspections and grass cutting, They're making it look really good all around the city. City Hall, Melrose Park. If you look out here outside City Hall, the playground has new mulch and landscape timbers. They painted the senior lodge interior and are about to do the exterior. Remodeled the bathroom at their maintenance shop. Been pressure washing buildings around the city, so they have been really busy, and we appreciate everything they're doing. Our Citizen Observer Patrol is actually tonight, the city of Westover will be voting their city council meeting on signing an MOU with us to allow the Citizen Observer Patrol to patrol Westover and allow citizens in Westover to join our COP program. COPs also began delivering meals to homebound seniors last week. We've talked about this before, and it's a great program that's going to be a great community outreach for the COPs and the people that they're serving. And as we talked about on that one of our last ordinances, is our building official. Our building services is up and running. Our building official started yesterday, and we're going to be doing commercial building inspections right off the bat, and we'll add residential in later. So that's all I've got as far as updates from me, and at this point, I'll turn it over to Ms. Dana for the library update.
Thank you. So just notice the shirt. This is our summer reading program theme, Unearth a Story at Chelsea Library. So we're gearing up for summer reading. Got everything planned, and of course it kicks off in the end of May, 1st of June. Just real quick, things coming up. This Saturday is our STEAM program from 10 to 2. It's come and go. It's for all ages. Kim has some new toys that she'll probably put out for this weekend, and so it'll be a great time to bring the kids to experience that. May 2nd is chess, 11:30, all ages, all levels of experience. Our 2 Medicare seminars in May the 7th at 2 with Brooke, May the 19th at 10:30 with Deborah. We have a new teen program. We actually have an employee that's her heart, so I said go for it. So there's a teen board game night scheduled for May the 12th at 5 o'clock. Then the Friends Book Sale coming up May 9th, and put on your calendar an author event at the library on the 16th at 5:30. There's a lot of local authors. There's one in particular who has an amazing story, and she's a wonderful lady to listen to, and we actually have her books in the library. But I can't think of her name, so that's why I'm not saying it. And I hate that, but it's old age, you know. But anyway, I appreciate everything, and I was just trying to make it short and sweet for us.
Real good.
All right, thank y'all.
And city events update from Ms. Pate.
Thank you, Council. I first want to mention that, it is Autism Awareness Month, and we have been doing the Lighted Up Blue, and we're going to be doing, for mental health awareness, we're going to be lighting up green next month. But if you see in front of me, and the people that are watching online, they can see these adorable little color pages that are individuals at our 4 Chelsea schools that get extra education services. They completed these for us, and so we put them on display for you to enjoy, and we have some coming from some other schools, so we're going to leave them up there for a little while. We just have our big community center spring craft fair. That is put on by our Chelsea Community Center, and they're going to be doing that this Saturday, so I want to send accolades to that team that has been putting that together. That is not one of my events. It is all of theirs. So Jane, Ann, and Megan have been working so hard, and all of the teams at the community center. So we're really excited about that. And we're going to have lots of outreach there and over 60 vendors. And then the museum is having Dining in Early America on Sunday, the 26th, and we invite you to come to that. So that's going to be a really interesting one. And then, of course, our farmers market is coming very soon, and we are going to do a little grand opening for May 2nd, and we'll have music and some other activities for the grand opening. And we'll just go ahead and leave it there for now. You can see the calendar online, and all of you are aware of all the great things happening. And we're going to have lots more Chelsea Fest news coming soon. Okay? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. And I'd just like to say you're at 6 months now, and you're doing a fantastic job, and the city employees are amazing, and everything's maintenance-wise is just running great, and we appreciate you.
They're definitely great.
Next up, before I start the community forum, we have some guests that would like to address the council and the city of Chelsea. First up, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jacob Tidmore. who is running for Shelby County Property Tax Commissioner.
Good evening. Thank y'all for having me tonight. I want to start out by saying that if we're going to ask taxpayers to fund our government, we need to run it with honesty, fairness, and accountability. My name is Jacob Tidmore, and I'm honored to stand before you as your current property tax commissioner for Shelby County. Not a politician by trade. I'm a Shelby County employee, Shelby County native, born and raised in Columbiana, graduated from Shelby County High School, married my high school sweetheart, Jacelyn, and right now we're raising our two beautiful kids, Jackson and Caroline, on our cattle farm outside of town. Faith, family, hard work aren't just words to us, they're how we live. After graduating from the University of South Alabama, I didn't chase opportunities somewhere else. I came home because I wanted to serve the community that raised me. So I've been with the property tax office for about 9 years now. I didn't step into this position from the outside. I learned it from the ground up. Earned my Alabama Certified Appraiser designation in both residential and commercial property. In 2020, I was promoted to Property Tax Administrator, where I managed 30 employees in every aspect of property tax and trained under Hall of Fame Commissioner Don Armstrong. When he passed away, Governor Kay Ivey appointed me to commissioner. You know, since that time, I've stepped into this position. I have added a transparency tab on our website so you can see every dollar we collect and where it goes. We've added more information to our bills and notices to include exemption information. In the past, those weren't made very available, so we've added more information on how to apply and qualify for those exemptions. We also added a location here on the Highway 280 Services Building, so people can come in during collection season, pay their property tax, file for homestead, and file for their over 65 exemptions. We wanted to do this to give more accessibility to North Shelby County. Shelby County has the most efficient property tax office in the state of Alabama, without question, and we want to keep it that way. This is not a part-time job. It takes hands-on leadership each and every day. Most people don't know, but I'm personally held liable for any errors or shortfalls in the office. That means it takes experience, discipline, and a commitment to doing things the right way. You can't fake that, and you can't learn it overnight. It's something that you got to learn on the job, and I've been on the job for 9 years, training under Mr. Armstrong. So I humbly ask for y'all's vote on May 19th, and I appreciate y'all having me tonight. Thank you, and God bless Shelby County. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Jay Wellborn, who is running for Shelby County District Judge.
Good evening, Honorable Council, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Borden. It's good to be here tonight, citizens of Chelsea. It's good to speak to y'all tonight. You're part of a group of people that have helped make Shelby County what it is. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you because I'm running for a newly created district court seat here in Shelby County. It is a district court place 3. Last time we got one was early to mid-90s. Shelby County at that point had 108,000 people in their population, and now we're well over 250,000 people. We've needed this seat for many years, and the 24-25 legislation session down in Montgomery gave us this 3rd seat. The reason that this seat is so important is because district court is where the majority of the business is handling the court. It's where 95 to 98% of regular everyday people have their first interaction with the court system. It's high volume, it's fast paced, and people come in every day with real problems. Businesses come in every day with real problems. Families come in every day with real problems, expecting very swift, very fast resolution. It's very similar to the emergency room. Imagine if you're in a horrific car wreck. You got a collapsed lung, broken arm, concussion, and you rush to the emergency room, and when they get you out of the ambulance and you walk in, every doctor in the ER that day is a podiatrist. Are they educated? Absolutely. Are they doctors? Absolutely. Are they the doctor that you need that day? Probably not. You need a doctor that has seen a little bit of everything. In my career as an attorney, I've done just about everything there is under the sun, district and circuit court. But I have represented thousands of clients in Shelby County and all over the state in every single aspect that district court hears. From misdemeanors and speeding tickets, to voting violations, to collections and small claims and landlord-tenant issues, all the way to juvenile and child support issues. You don't need, when you're in the emergency room with all those issues, you don't need a doctor with a very narrow scope. Just like when you go to court, you don't need a judge with a very narrow scope. You need someone who has a large, wide variety of experience. This is not something that can be done with on-the-job training. You don't need a judge to walk in and have to have their hand held for 6 months down the road. You need somebody that can go in and work day one. My other experiences, I was a firefighter down the road here at 280 at Harpersville for several years. So public service is kind of in my blood. Before that, I was in youth ministry with the North Alabama Conference United Methodist Church. I know what it's like to serve people. The cases in district court, they don't make headlines, but they're important to every single person that's in there. I'm not running for this position to wear that wonderful hot polyester choir robe. I'm not running for a title or even an increase in salary. I'm running because it's about people. Judges, politicians, candidates, they're not the most powerful people in the room. Every single one of you are, because you hold that vote on May 19th. My name is Jay Wellborn, and I'm running to be your next district court judge here in Shelby County, and I would humbly ask for your vote on May 19th. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up is Mr. Scott Ortiz, Senate candidate. Did I say that right?
You did. Not many people do, actually.
All right.
I usually get Ortiz or something like that. Yeah. So my name is Scott Ortiz, and I am running for state senate for District 15. So this district is, nobody really knows where they live. A lot of people ask, what does that cover? District 15 is a large district. It goes from most of Mountain Brook, a little bit of Trustful, most of Leeds, Liberty Park, a little bit of Irondale. It covers Cahaba Heights, a little bit of Homewood, a little bit of Vestavia, goes down to Greystone, Eagle Point, Oak Mountain, here Chelsea, Harpersville, Wilsonville area. So it covers a large area. I've been a businessman for my entire working career, minus the first couple of years I got out of college, and I was a high school math and science teacher. I've been a lifelong conservative Republican. I'm a father of 5. I've never run for public office before, and so this is my foray. I've never really been invested in politics other than sort of peripherally. So I've gotten into this race. I'm a pharmacist. My background is pharmacy. I own my own business. I sold my business a couple of years ago, and so I got into this because I want to make a difference. I want to bring an Alabama and an America First agenda to our district. I started looking at who our current state senator is. It's an incumbent. I didn't even know who it was. And I thought that was the first problem. So, as a home health care provider and working in healthcare, I've done this for over 35 years. And more recently, I've noticed more and more patients were having trouble affording the co-pays, deductibles, going to the doctor, most importantly, getting their prescriptions filled. And, as, again, a business owner, I hired employees. I took pride in paying very fair and competitive wages, and we have paid a really good benefit package. But our young professionals were still having trouble just even making ends meet. And at that point, I realized, what's wrong? We're paying too much in taxes. We've got to have someone who's going to go to Montgomery and cut some of these taxes that we're paying. And I started looking at one of the biggest things that we pay right now, and most of us don't know, is Alabama. There's 39 states that do not have a statewide sales tax. And we really shouldn't either, but Alabama does. And so we've got to have someone who's going to go to Montgomery and eliminate this tax on food, make groceries more, affordable for everyone. Our seniors, which someone mentioned earlier, I think Mr. Timore mentioned about the property tax reduction for seniors. I've gone around during this process and talked to seniors, and it's amazing how many are feeling like they're being priced out and taxed out of the homes that they bought and paid for maybe decades ago. We pay too much. We send too much of our money to Montgomery. We've got to have politicians who are going to stand with President Trump on the illegal immigration as well. And you guys know firsthand, you had the MS-13 gang member that was part of the community and had been deported a couple times and came back. My brother I'm from Louisiana, and ironically, the large world comes into very short focus. I realized that Mr. Fisher and I come from the same small town in Louisiana. That's not much bigger than Chelsea. So and my youngest sister was really good friends with perhaps his cousin, anyway. My brother is a small town police chief in Louisiana. He did undercover narcotics for 20 plus years, became police chief, and during the line of duty, on a domestic dispute call, he went out to service, witnessed one of his deputies and former partners get shot and killed in the line of duty. So it's very important to me that we protect our first responders. We've got to make sure that they are fully funded, have the proper equipment, proper training, because it's important to me that they go home to their families, able to protect our communities, and go home to their families at night. Fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm fully committed and fully determined that we've got to make sure that fraud, waste, and abuse on every level of government, from the city to state, and even to the national folks that we elect, fight fraud, waste, and abuse, and we don't see that like in Minnesota, California, and those places. But I'm running because, in term limits, that's the other thing I'm really against. I'm committed, and I've said publicly, I will not serve more than 2 terms. I think we've got to stop, on the state and national level, career politicians. It was never meant to be that way. I think president has 2 terms, governor has term. I think we need to make sure that we have term limits at the state and national government. So I want to go to Montgomery, I want to make a difference, and I want to come home. So, again, I'm running for state senate seat for District 15. On May 19th, I would appreciate your vote, support, and I'm just a businessman who wants to go and make a difference and come home. I don't want to make it a career. I want to serve the people for this district, and I thank you.
Very good, thank you. And to all 3 of y'all, good luck. There's nothing more fun than running the campaign. And I do say that every time, I'm sorry. But good luck to all of you. And like you said, the next election is May 19th. And is that just,
It's the primary.
that's the primary, right?
Yeah, for me, I'm not sure these guys, for me, there's not a Democrat and there's the 2 Republicans. So for me, that's it.
That's it,
Yeah,
okay.
There's no runoff, there's no, the general election already is determined.
Gotcha. May 19th, everybody go vote. We will go into our community forum at this time. Is there anybody that would like to address the council? Yes, sir.
Can you clarify on Highway 11, is that road?
Oh, you gotta come up to the microphone.
Yeah, thanks.
Gary Jones, 1040 Kingston Road in Chelsea Park. Highway 11, is that a Shelby County road or a state of Alabama road?
I believe it's a county road.
It is, it's a Shelby County road.
So the county is responsible for maintaining and the upkeep of that road.
That is correct.
So if the city of Chelsea won the lottery and had millions of dollars, they're not authorized to go there and make changes to that road without the county doing it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's all I want to know.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to address the council? Council, do you have anything to say?
I'll just echo your comments. I appreciate everyone's civility, the comments and the discourse about the ordinance. So, thank you.
All right. I believe that's it. Who wants to make that final?
Mr. President, make a motion that we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.